Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Schmattz Outdoors. Same as usual. It's cold, it's windy, I'm tired, all that. We're just getting ready to go. I got the hot rod warming up a little bit. Yesterday I got all them muskrats from the last 2 days skinned, fleshed, and put on stretchers, and that beaver skin. So nice to get some fur work done. This time of year, I don't want to be doing a lot of fur work, but muskrats are the one animal that I try to get done kind of as I catch them. So yeah, I put up 28 of them last night. We did get, I don't know if you guys could see, a little dusting of the old white stuff. You know, you kind of looking across the pasture and see the hillside out through the trees here just all white. It didn't snow a long time, but boy, when it was snowing, it was like white out. And it come like right as I was finishing up skinning everything. So I don't think it's going to have too much of an effect on the line. I thought if we would have got a little more overnight, which it looked like we might have, or we were going to, but it doesn't look like we did. If anything, we got less right now than we had when I went to bed. So wind blew like crazy last night. It was supposed to be 30 sustained, gusting to like 40 plus. So, and it sounded like, at least when I went to bed, that, I mean, the house is just creaking and moaning. You know, I don't know what that's going to do to my catch. Now towards the morning here, it's went down. It's down about 20 sustained, or maybe just a little less. And it's supposed to go down as the day goes along here. So I'm not getting a real early start. I'm probably half an hour or a little more behind normal, but I thought, well, if I have to remake sets, if the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour, it's tough to remake coyote sets like that. So I think today is going to be just a straight up, I'm not even going to do maintenance because of the wind. I'm going to do just a straight up run through the line today. I kind of need a little bit of break for my body, but we'll see towards the end. If I get a little extra time and the wind does go down, I may drop a few extra coyote sets in. We'll see kind of how that goes. But otherwise, I didn't really do anything different in the truck. I didn't add anything. I didn't take anything out yesterday because I think I'm pretty well set to keep running the water line that I got out, and then keep adding coyote sets and raccoon sets if I find good spots for them. But so yeah, that's all I got for that's all I have for you guys this morning. Like I said, we're gonna get out there. Hopefully we got some catches. We added 13 more coyote sets and a beaver set yesterday. So I'm hoping at least one of those sets pays off for you guys, whether it's a beaver or hopefully we got a sound dog caught. So, or something, I guess. But like I said, with the wind blowing that strong, I don't know, that might put a damper on that too. But, and then I feel like I need to make a point too. Two things. My beaver trap yesterday was actually set off. The pan was pushed all the way down until it was hitting the frame of the trap. So I don't know, that little beaver I caught the day before must have bent my pan just a little bit. So my trap was actually set off, or pushed, the pan was pushed all the way down. It just was catching the end of the dog by that much, you know, just enough that it wouldn't go off. So I'm glad I decided to move that trap, because I moved it from where it was kind of over to the other side of my cable. And I'm glad I did, because when I picked it out of the mud, I realized that it was set off. Otherwise, I was thinking about leaving it exactly how it was. Well, it had still been, you know, sitting there and not actually working. So, yeah, and then the second thing I wanted to bring up too, so I added 13 coyote sets, but I want to make a point that that's not 13 spots. There are a couple of them that are, let's see, there's 3 or 4 that are individual traps set in a location. Otherwise, they're like doubles, set, you know, 2 traps in one location. So in reality, I got probably 5 or 6 spots set up, and not, you know, 13 new spots, if that makes sense. And even the dozen traps I have out right now, they're spread over like 6 spots. So now I have basically like 12 spots with 25 traps, or 24, yeah, 25 traps. So if that makes sense. Depends on what you call a spot. You know, like in one particular spot, I have 2 coyote sets on one fence line, and I have a single I put out yesterday on the other fence line. It's a half-mile away. Well, is that the same spot, or is that 2 new spots? I don't know. I consider it 2 different spots. So, like I said, there is that. I just wanted to make a point of that I didn't set 13 new locations. I set 13 traps in a half a dozen locations. So, and again, some of these are some of the better locations I've had over the years. I took some risks yesterday putting them out because the fields on, I don't know, half a dozen of the 13 were not worked. They're bean fields. As cold as it is, I don't know if they're actually gonna work them or not. I'm hoping they're not. That's why I went out and put my sets. And then again, because I'm only running such a short period of time this year, I can't wait forever for them to get these fields worked. You know, in a normal year when I'd be trapping 30 days, I could wait another week here to put those sets out there and hope they get the ground worked up in that meantime. But I don't have the luxury of that this year, so took a little bit of risk. That's where having my gray fence post marking my trap is very important. If they do work them under, I typically can still find them, especially if they only work by one time. Typically, sometimes it doesn't even set my trap off, but they'll typically be pulled the whichever direction that they were traveling when they worked by there. They would have to like catch the loop in the cable stake, or actually catch like inside the jaws or the frame somewhere on the digger teeth. Well, most of the time those are down in the ground, you know, and it just kind of pulls the dirt up from the bottom. So it typically doesn't drag, or I've never lost a trap by having them worked under, let's put it that way. So I took a little risk. If they work them under, it's a kind of a pain in the butt to find them. Again, my cable stake, poking around with my stake driver, I can find them again, and then I'd have to remake them and all that. But so like, yeah, half a dozen. So 3 other spots that I put out yesterday are bean fields that are picked but not worked. Again, I kind of took the risk. I feel like this year, the way the season's going, they're all probably be worked up today, because that's just how my season's going. But all right, that's all I got. Let's get out on the line. Let's get some catches for you guys. All right, guys. We're just gonna show you, because I didn't show you that well yesterday. So there's this bigger slough on this side of the road. I did have sets right down here by the culvert, and I had some down there. Part of this is open again now that the wind blew last night. So right here I got this culvert, and yesterday I had a double here in my 110s. But you can see right there, that is a big old muskrat. And this trap here is just set off. See it right here is just set off with nothing in it. So I'm not sure why I'm getting misses here. We'll get both of these reset. Like I said, muskrat in the truck. Here, we'll actually pull them out, because you just never know what a guy might get for catches today. So looks like a nice big muskrat too, big fat guy. So I haven't trapped hardly any muskrats out of these sloughs over the years, but I have noticed that when you set some trail sets like this, I almost feel like you pick up some of these bigger muskrats that might be a little bit wary of like the food sets, you know, a baited conibear or a baited foothold like that. This is just a random chance that they're swimming through here, but I've kind of noticed that over the years. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But on the board with a nice big fat muskrat. So we'll get this guy out of there. We'll get this other set remade again. I don't know how they got that one set off again without catching whatever was in there. So, I mean, might just random miss. They're trying to crawl over it or do something weird to that trap, and they're setting it off and not getting caught. But Either way, we got one in the truck. We're not skunked for the day. All right, guys, we're moving through the line pretty good. Let's see, I've checked a couple more muskrat sets kind of by this big wildlife out here by that culvert. None of my 4 sets were messed with. You know, where I have 2 on each side of the culvert and the water's open under the road. It's actually open like 10-15 feet each way now. I think that, you know, strong wind last night must have stirred the water up a little bit through the culvert there and opened up a little more water, but no catches there today. And again, with the wind blowing 40 miles an hour last night, or gusting to 40, blowing 30, sustained, I didn't expect a lot of catches, but I do have one here. What I have here, and I'll show it a little more when I get out, but I have a tree line of pine trees here. It's just a windbreak out in this field. Years ago, a lot of guys put these in, and then now a lot of people are tearing them back out. And then, so this tree line right here comes up and butts up basically to this fence row, and then that wildlife is like 100 yards over there. And I don't know, I come out here a few years ago in the middle of the winter and made a stand right here, a coyote calling stand, calling into this big slough, and this whole area was just covered up with coyote tracks. So I talked to the farmer. He actually talked to me that day when I was walking out of here, you know, and we had a good chat, and I asked him, well, do you mind if I ever trap out there? And he's like, no, catch everyone you can. So that's kind of how I run into all these spots. And like I said, I found this particular spot just by pure accident. So I really don't know what the coyotes are doing here, if they're running the fence row, if they're running the wildlife out here, or if they're just running this tree line from a wildlife that's a mile over to this wildlife. Wind checking it, scent checking it, whatever you want to say. I really don't know why this is the hot spot, why they focus down on this one location, but they do. So so I have a catch and I have a miss, which is kind of a oddity, let's put it that way. But so these were 2 traps I just set yesterday, and I was talking in the truck because of the wind, and I do think the wind is going down today. So I talked about a miss. He dug me up, and you can see he scratched all of this all up too. So I don't know, we're gonna have to see if we can get this guy reset down in here. So there was actually already a dirt hole there, and a coyote looked like it had looked into the dirt hole. So I basically put my trap right where the coyote had stepped. But on this side, we did not have a miss. So I haven't done a lot of pipe dream sets. Last year was my first year trying, and then I obviously put a few out again this year, and this is a pipe dream set. I don't know if you guys could see it, but my pipe is right here, sticking out of the ground still. But we got ourselves a pretty nice looking coyote. Good sized dog here. Looks like he's pretty well furred. He's completely furred. He's all puffed up. He looks like he's cold, because I'm cold. So again, we have this tree line, and it runs, I don't know if it runs the full mile or runs darn near the full mile. That direction, like I said, we got this big wildlife and just a fence line. It goes up to some trees up here, but it literally dead ends at the road just past these trees. There's a road there, and then it stops. But either way, this trap was here one day, and we made a catch. So got him kind of toe caught. He's got like up to his pad in there, which ain't as deep as I'd like, but if this guy was the digger from over here, you know, that's how you end up with some odd catches, I think, is they try to dig you up. But either way, we'll remake both these sets. We'll get this guy out of here. Stacking up a song dog on a day I didn't figure I'd probably catch too much. So, and again, this is south is this direction, north is that way, obviously west is behind me. So I elected to put it on this southwest corner with the idea that with a northwest wind, which is our predominant wind, and the way it's blowing now, that the animals will be running down this side of this thing. So I basically put it right on the corner here. Again, this field is not worked either, And I don't know if the farmer is going to work it, but I also tried to like tuck it right up to the corner with the idea that if he worked this edge, he'd miss it. And maybe if he worked along here, he'd miss it without, so he wouldn't work my set under. But all right, I'm getting cold. I got 2 sets to remake here. We got ourselves a nice dog here. Not going home empty-handed. So the next string of traps here is going to be mostly water sets for a bit here again, so you never know, we maybe have a few more muskrats to show you too. But like I said, we'll get this guy out of here, we'll get both of these remade and move on. All right guys, so I'm by this bigger slough here. The 2 sets down there, my 110 literally had like a 6-inch circle of ice built up around the jaws, the trigger, the pole, the whole works. Then I come down here, you can see this whole bay is froze over. I had the double on muskrats right here yesterday, and I actually moved them over a little bit again, but it didn't matter. The ice is right there. Here's my foothold. You can see how much ice it built up on that. But I did get lucky enough that I actually caught a muskrat. But I caught him by the belly hair, not even by a foot. And this block of ice over here, it was standing out on the corner. I picked it up and moved it. Ugh. There is my trap right there. Froze into that big old block of ice. So I thought about moving these 2 right over here, but I think this is just gonna happen again. So we're gonna leave the 2 down on the other end for today because they're already working. You know, I know they're working, and we're gonna pull these 2 sets. So I kind of think, you know, it's gonna be just a day or 2 here, and I'll be done water trapping anyway. But did get another muskrat here, so we got 2 for the day, and yeah, all right, we'll keep moving on. All right, guys, so I'm down. I just pulled those 2 sets. Right here's my colony trap. And I did have 1 foothold here. Can't tell, my pole is leaning over, but I almost think my trap is still on it. Just trying to get out far enough to it. So this ice is real like crystally fine ice. It's not, it's almost slushy, if that makes sense. But we're gonna pull this foothold, and we're probably gonna leave my colony trap here, but let's see if I can get her out here. Yeah, trap was still, well, whatever you want to call that. I wouldn't call that working, but it was still there. All right. Can't find my wire. Here it is. Let's see what we got. If anything, we got a whole bunch of cattail chunks. So no muskrat in here today. We'll get that trap cleaned out a little bit. We're gonna pull this foothold too. We'll leave the colony trap because I still do have the 2 sets on the other end. I maybe should just go pull them, but I'm gonna leave them for another day here. We'll get my colony trap working, this foothold pulled, and we'll be on our way. All right, guys. So I've checked 2 coyote sets with nothing in it, but this slough here actually opened up quite a bit. But right here's my 3 colony traps in this culvert. I haven't checked nothing yet. I turned you guys on here so you can watch real time with me. I'll try and do this one-handed here. So there should be, there we go. So I got a single in this one, a real small guy. And then I got a double in that one, a bigger one on the bottom and a small one on top. You can see him a little better, a bigger one and a small one. So that's 3. And an empty one. So if my count is right, that's 12 muskrats and 3 checks out of these 3 colony traps. That's pretty good success rate here. At this rate, I may only be checking muskrat sets another day or 2 here. The ice is just horrendous. You know, if this ice is well over an inch thick right behind me. You know, if that pushed up over the top of these traps, it could be very hard to get them out of here. So either way, we're gonna reset them today. We'll have to make a call, see how many more are frozen today and what it looks like for tomorrow, and we may be pulling the whole water line tomorrow, but again, we'll look at that down the road here. But another look at the catch here. 3 more nice muskrats. Makes 5 for the day now. The way it was looking that first check, I wasn't real excited, but we're still putting up a few numbers. We still got probably half the water line still to check here, including those 2 beaver sets. So let's get these guys all reset and we'll move on. All right guys, so we're on to the next traps actually. So I'm in this bigger slough here. Yesterday these traps were out there. I had them here the day before, but they were frozen yesterday, or that day, so I moved them. Yesterday they were set off because the wind was blowing on them, so I moved them over here hoping just to get them out of the, you know, the waves a little bit, hoping these weeds would just kind of keep them from the wind setting them off. But I do think I'm walking out right here next to this fence post. I almost think like right here is a run going into the bank, and right here is a run going into the bank. You know, just muskrat runs. Because the bottom's real soft right there, and it's quite a bit deeper than where I'm walking here. But you can see we got ourselves a muskrat there. He is froze, and I may have a hard time getting him out of that trap. This one here is set off too. Or, oh, just knocked off. So we'll see if I can get this guy here out of that trap without damaging the fur. Otherwise, I may just pull that trap and just reset this foothold here for today. I don't really want to do that, but if I have to, like I said, it looks like he's froze in. This is the style bracket. For some reason, these Sun Valley Supply brackets, every now and then it catches on one side or the other, and it just keeps it from falling off. And if they fall off, you know, they drowned obviously, but then this one happened, you know, the trap wouldn't be froze like that. But all right, we'll shut you guys off. I got 2 more sets down here by these trees and 2 more sets kind of over there, and I actually moved those yesterday too, so hopefully that helped them produce. But the first muskrat out of this set, like I said, I've caught 2 over here in the corner the last couple days, but we'll see what I can do here, and we'll get moved on. Well, we're back to this bigger slough here. Again, this one's one I never trapped before. I had some pole sets out here for one day and then they were frozen. But I have a 160 right here by this culvert. Yesterday I had a giant muskrat. Today I got a pretty good sized muskrat. He ain't giant like yesterday's. But this is froze over out there 30 feet or more. So these muskrats literally must be coming off the ice out of the slough somehow and thinking they're going through this culvert. But I did look yesterday and it sure looks dry on the other side of the road over there. So I don't know what they're going that way for. So I don't know. We'll take another dry land muskrat right there. Decent sized one. Like I said, he ain't. Oh, the trap's stuck on my H stand. Oh, he may be as big as the one yesterday. He's a big size. Suitcase caught, he didn't go very far. Alright, we'll get my 160 remade. When I put this here, I thought raccoons, skunks more likely, but never thought I'd be catching muskrats right here. So I'm on kind of a busy road here. There's going to be some farm traffic going by, so we're going to get this guy out of here quick and get moved on. Alright, boys and girls, I'm just getting out to my beaver sets here. My muskrat sets over there were completely iced over. Up here they got some ice, but my 110 is just set off. My foothold there still has bait on it today, where my bait's been stalled every day. So I'm just kind of watching out here. I don't really see a floater there yet, but my trap is definitely gone from here. That one's gone. So yesterday what I did here, I moved the few sticks I had there to this side where my trap had been, and then I put my trap right here, you know, because it looked like this is the side that the beaver was trying to come up on, and then I piled all this mud up here. I mean, it almost looks like something smeared part of my mud, but if I did catch one, he may have smeared it. And that trap, the pan, was hitting the frame of the trap, so I missed him yesterday and I didn't realize it. Oh, we had a miss here though. Right here's my trap. I don't see nothing in that trap, but if I catch a beaver here, if this trap's got a beaver in it, we're gonna pick up both of these sets and take them with me. I only really wanted to catch one beaver out of here anyway. I don't feel like I need to catch every beaver in the countryside here, so I maybe should have quit after the first one, honestly, but I knew there was a bigger one in here, and that one was just a year old. So we're trying to find my stake out here. Like I said, I don't see a floater. Oh yeah, I do. Right down here, you guys probably aren't gonna be able to see them, but looks like something laying there. Appears to be beaverish looking. So we're gonna be pulling both of these sets. The water's almost too deep for my glove here. It's super clayey bottom here. So that 30-inch stake, they weren't pulling it out of there. And there we go. We got ourselves a big beaver. And that's what I thought was going to be in here, just one big guy. Oops. Let's see. I just want to get him out of the water here so you guys could get a little better look at him, but that's a good sized beaver there. I feel like that's more of the size of beaver that I thought was going to be in here. Man, look at the tail on that guy. All right, hold on just a sec here. There you go, that's a Bridger number 5 on a drowning rig, and that is a big beaver. I thought there might have been like a 60-pounder in here. I don't think that one's gonna quite go 60, but I'm guessing he's probably all of 50. So like I said, I don't want to catch every beaver out of this slough either. No landowners really asked me to trap these or anything like that. Kind of makes you curious since I had a miss over here. I'll just show this too, because I noticed it was still there. So all I did is I just put a chunk of caster on this stick. I didn't put no backing, no caster mound or anything like that back there. I literally just had a glob of caster. My trap was right here in front of it. So the idea is they come up, as soon as they got their nose there, they put their feet down and bam, in my trap. But something obviously happened. I don't have no toes or nothing in this trap, so something obviously happened and I missed. But I didn't miss over here. I figured no way I was gonna get this beaver caught over here since he had messed with me twice already. You know, I had that little one and I'm thinking the bigger one come and smeared the mound, caster mound out. I figured there was no way I was gonna catch him over here again, but just changing up the location of my trap a little apparently was enough to do it. So actually looking at this, Like right here, there's claw marks in the side of this. And over, like I said, it's smeared over there. Whether that was this beaver or not, it don't matter. Like I said, we're gonna pull my beaver sets. I'll remake the muskrat sets for today. You know, guy might make some muskrat catches in here, but a couple more. Like I said, I'm only gonna be running another day or two here anyway, but all right, there he is. We'll give you one more quick look at him and we'll move on. Nice big beaver. Like I said, that's what I was after today. A nice giant like that. All right, we made her home. I got everything kind of laid out for you guys here. We're gonna carry it down in my basement so it doesn't freeze up right away, especially the water animals. All the muskrats I had riding around inside my truck today, because a couple of them even had ice on them. But I didn't want them freezing up like they did yesterday, or 2 days ago, and then even yesterday they were plenty cold. They were actually tough to skin. They were like, I don't know, like half froze, if that makes sense. But yeah, we got everything kind of laid out here. We'll go over a little bit what we got, and like I said, we'll start carry stuff in the basement so it can dry off a little bit, and I can warm up. All right, so we got this guy here. You know, a tan-colored coyote. That's typical for my area. You know, even Dad thought even he looks like a red fox. He's got kind of reddish legs, but he's all coyote all day. Pretty well furred. He's got a few burrs up here in his neck and a bunch in his belly over here. But I'll take him. Like I said, that was the first day that set was there. I just put them there yesterday. The other one was dug up, so hopefully this was the digger and I got him caught so my trap don't continue to get dug up back there. But if it does, we'll play around with that set some and do it a little differently. All right, guys, and I got these 7 muskrats today. Not as many as I hoped for, but honestly more than I thought I would catch, if that makes sense. So I made a comment while I was on the line. So this one here and this big guy here on the end were caught in trail sets. And it seems like if I catch muskrats in trail sets, a lot of times it seems like it's these bigger size muskrats. You know, like this one here is the very first one I caught going under that road by the culvert there where the 2 sets were. And this one here is the one I caught in that 160. He's by far the biggest one of the day. You know, he's a 2XL muskrat at least, and that one probably is too. I don't know why that is. Like I said, if they're just a little more cautious of baited sets, you know, where I've caught both of these, basically these muskrats would have never seen a baited set. Because where I caught this one, I've never had sets there before. That one I haven't had sets there in like 3 years. Well, muskrats don't typically live that long, but. And then we got this guy over here. Alright, so we got my scale here. We'll turn it on. So we're zeroed out. So we're just gonna hoist him up on my skinning machine here. Alright, there you guys can see. 50.6 we got. So like I said, I figured there'd be a big one in there. I thought maybe he'd be a little bigger than this. Even when I pulled him out of the water, I thought he was maybe 55, but solid 50 pounder. He's kind of long and skinny. He ain't as fat as some of them, and I imagine that's why he's only 50, but got a heck of a paddle on there. Big beaver for around here anywhere. Big beaver probably for anywhere, so like I said, we're going to get him inside. And I want to show one more thing before I turn you guys off here. In here, so I had thrown that beaver in here. And I had thrown him up here so he wasn't touching any metal. I have these grates in here so the water can run underneath my truck. But right here, it's actually froze. So just while I was driving home, the water from that beaver actually froze into my truck. And that's why I have these little racks in there to keep the animals up off of my truck bed. so they don't freeze down to the truck. Because otherwise, like, that beaver would have been froze rock solid to my truck had I weighed him right on the box today. And that's actually why I had all the muskrats inside my truck again today. Just driving around as cold as it is with the wind blowing, I didn't want them all freezing together, making a solid block, and a couple of them had ice chunks on them, so wanted to try and melt the ice off before I got home here. But yeah, so I didn't add any new sets. I pulled the 2 beaver sets. Like I said, I only really wanted to catch 1 beaver out of there. I got a little greedy after catching the little guy the other day. I knew there was a big one in there, so I thought, well, we'll leave them. And like I said, I caught the big one, so we pull them out of there. I don't know if there's more in there or not. I don't even care. If there is, there's seed for next year. Hopefully the weather's a little nicer next year to do some water trapping, unlike this year. You know, if it's 70 degrees, it makes water trapping a lot nicer than when it's, well, 25 degrees or whatever it is today. So yeah, otherwise, tomorrow I didn't add sets, so tomorrow I'll be running the same line other than these 2 beaver sets. I did leave the muskrat sets where the beaver was at there. Like I mentioned kind of out on the line, tomorrow might be the end of the water trapping. We'll kind of play it by ear, let's put it that way. At least any of the sets that I got to have waders on to check might be the end of that. Like where I caught this one here in that trail set by that culvert, I could check that with just my normal boots on, because I can stand on the hard ground and check it and pull it. So those I could maybe leave, but I'm kind of done wearing waders. It's wet, it's cold. You know, as soon as you get wet and the wind blows on your waders, it just like sucks your heat right out of you. So my feet and legs are cold right now. So otherwise, I think that's all I got for you guys. We'll see you out on the line tomorrow.